Yep.
Yes, fucking
Let's
do it.
do this, bitches. That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me
Shut up, Doug.
oh, just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me oh, just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome.
The fuck is that?
Keep telling me to get
What a good
me
start.
home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Yeah, boy, his life. Oh, you're seeking the bad ass. These don't have Tommy C. Clan Wizard of the Brovets. I got Fulton out here. Behind the glass. For your ass. Hey boys, how are you?
I'm good. Chilling.
Good, good, good.
I'm quite good myself. All right. I know I sound like every other YouTuber. I didn't think I was going to cover this again. But we have reason to believe that the Amory situation is far from over. We have reason to believe there are going to be articles. And these articles, this is going to be a big surprise, are not going to say that I apologized. These articles are not going to say that I had two people call in and I apologized to them to two female soldiers call in and apologize to them and how bad I felt about it. These articles are not going to say I owned it. These articles are not going to say that I spoke very clearly when I say Emery was a better soldier and did more than me and she deserves nothing more than to be respected, right? These articles are not going to say I was wrong. They're basically going to be like this. They're going to show the incident and they're gonna have me talking about false allegations of rape and women that can't pick anything up with absolutely no context. These articles, if they come out, are going to look. When you have a narrative, like you have the bad guy, and if it comes out like he apologized, he said he was wrong. Everybody had a laugh over it at his expense. That's not really good because then you don't have good versus evil. And while I don't really tolerate this from people I don't like when information is omission, because what we're probably going to see is lying by omission and taking me wildly out of context. We've seen it before. I've seen it with, let's say I had a conversation with Dankula today. He probably knows more about that than I could ever hope to. And we've stuck up for other people and pointed it out. I mean, you can see other YouTubers, they make a career out of pointing out a mainstream media garbage. I don't expect these articles are going to make you look like you don't like women. No way. Yeah, they probably are. Well, the one we're aware of is a complete lie by omission. They're lying. It's something to the effect of, all right, this is the what I thought she was, right? And they quote me on that. And then they quote me when I say, that's just me. So it looks like I've doubled down. That's what these articles are going to do. They're going to make it look like I doubled down. Because like running riot, most people that have a political point of view and they go team don't care what's true. They don't give a crap. Now, I expect that this is a part of the punish, so to speak, but it doesn't mean I can't say anything about it, and it's a bunch of horseshit. Don't expect the clip that we played where she said that I had some bulls the way I took it, and we all laughed it out and laughed it off. They're not going to show the clip when Matt called in and she said she enjoyed the whole thing and it was just talking shit in the internet and everything's cool. No, I'm not going to get that benefit of the doubt because you have to have somebody who hates women. It's so simple. It's so divide and conquer. It's so Journo Gate. It's all on the service, Mickey. What's that?
Just for the record, I didn't call in. I was in the chat.
I'm in the chat. Excuse me. I misspoke. Yeah, Profet. Now, the guy we're talking about today, he didn't quite do that. It's not that bad a video, but I think what happens, anticipating what this stuff comes out, assuming that any serious reporter wants to get a statement from me or my state of mind at the time, and just how bad I felt. One of the things that I said, I'm sure this will be admitted, I really am ashamed of myself, especially because we have a lot of female soldiers that call in. When I call in, I kind of hit on them and stuff. And we joke around about the old days. Yeah,
you do.
That is the worst part of it for me. That's the part that I have to own the most, because that's, I don't want them thinking I think less of them. And I don't. The shitbag males and the shitbag females. And then I put her on that hand and I was terribly wrong. And I said it. What are you going to do? Oh, it's easier that I'm a member of the Ku Klux Klan. So, yeah, this is a little preemptive damage control. Because we already sort of got a taste on what we're expecting. Yeah, we all know about creepy. See, yeah, girls call in, we joke around. How many girls we called in? I think even since you've been here, Matt, we talk about all the crazy sex that was going on in the military.
Yeah,
and we're goofing around. We've had all these conversations, and I don't think I've ever treated them with like anything less than. I just simply didn't buy what she was saying, and I still stand by the fact. And I've seen it with my own. One of the worst things, and I don't think Emery did this on purpose. I know she didn't do it on purpose. Notice that I didn't see Emery say I made anything up. I just got her wrong. One of the things that really gets me, and I saw it. I'll take one comment, but there was more than one. Is the people that were, most people were like, just go Emery, drop the mic, put him down. That was like 90% of it. But there was a vocal minority that attacked me directly, which, busting my balls is, come on. There was a vocal minority, and this encapsulates the problem I have by telling another streamer that it's less difficult in the military. Because people that hate the military take it and use it. Let me give you an example. I got one that said, yeah, she was a real badass soldier. She so owned you. Kind of like how the Americans got owned by Vietnam. That's not a pro-military person. Now, I'm not saying that everybody, and I'm not saying she didn't court those people, but yeah, people that absolutely can't stand the military say, hey, look, it's no different than streaming and how easy is streaming. Now, I don't think she did that on purpose, and I'm sure that's not going to be put in any article. I did have a problem. I still have a problem with what she said. But it's like now I know who she is, and I know what an idiot I was, so we can agree to disagree. If she even disagrees, I don't even know that. And she did state clearly, and that was my fault as well. Some of the time, is it tough every day? No. But that's not what people see, and that's not what what military haters will latch onto. And that was what burned my balls about it. Did she do it on purpose? No. So I got this stupid biased picture in my mind and convinced myself. I got tunnel vision of my arrogance. It got me owned. Somebody said to me, "Is like, you're a typical misogynist," and your first proposal, just a woman moving on or whatever is really was really bad. You should have hit her point head on. I didn't. I wasn't responding to her running riot. I was responding to fucking. Yeah, that's not a point. That was me being a jackass. Yeah, that's right. Somebody wrote me and said, you're acting, Tommy C, you're acting like a typical misogynist. She sounds like a really badass soldier. And I wrote back, or you got owned because you're a misogynist. She's a really badass soldier. I was like, well, first one, the second part is undeniable. But I got owned for being an asshole, not because I hate women. And honestly, if you think I hate women based on that stupid fucking sexist dig, then I gotta be honest, you're making the same mistake that I made with her, and you're an asshole too. So it's a little more nuanced than that. No, and I was responding to a Biscuit when I said that. And then when she came at me all hardcore, like I did this and I did that, I'll get the fuck out of here. And of course, she probably did look at her. Look at her Instagram. Yeah, she is probably telling her. And that's the part. And like I said, I don't care about people calling me misogynist. I expected that. I don't really care so much about that. I do care if the information is omitted. And yeah, I think I have every right. I think I'm somewhat entitled to a clear picture. You know, it really shows you what these people are like. There is no path to redemption. And I don't expect it from a rando. But I do expect it from people that claim to be journalists. And that's it. So look, if you like, it's like this. If you really think I hate women, well, there's nothing I can do for you. You know, I'm not going to sit there and try to convince you and give you "I have black friends" speech. You know, fuck you. How about that? Fuck you in the ass. But yeah, my biggest problem with her statement, and it blinded me from making any sense, was she wasn't who she said she was, because she so easily lent that credibility. And that bothered me. And I should have just calmed the fuck down. You know? And that's why we fired Biscuit. That's why Walt's here.
Fuck that guy, man.
So let's go over. The title's actually kind of funny. This gentleman, who I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to correct the record with this guy. First of all, we're pretty sure this guy's active military. He cannot defend himself the way I can defend myself because he's active military. If you, for some reason, to criticize him, you keep yourself in fucking line. He's a serviceman and he deserves respect too. And he can't come at you like I can. He can't defend himself as well as I can. All right? All I'm going to do here is correct the record. That's it. This is not a fucking Repzilla thing. I'm not even that angry with him. And it probably is going to get a lot worse. All right? I look beautiful, by the way. Look at me. Fucking 16 years ago. And by the way, a lot of stuff he says, dead on. We went over this. This one I actually watched beforehand. So we'll get it. And we'll also read the comments in here. Here we go.
Brovet gets shut down by a Twitch/influencer follower or whatever that was a Army veteran as well. And this story gets quite interesting as you see vet-to-vet combat almost literally across the Twitter sphere. To be fair, the Brovet community
I resented the Brovet community, but this is fucking funny. You know, I only got the belly. I don't even have the beard. I'm not that good at Brovet. You know?
Fair, the Brovet community, as some people have deemed it, has actually continued on online, even though we've seen the conflict of Afghanistan and Iraq actually come to more of a close as we pull more and more troops out, and those memories and experiences go further and further away. However, online people such as female veterans are still complaining that Brovet culture is perpetuating
a little journalism there. Who?
Still in the comments and forums across various social media platforms, and this came at a crossfire between these two Army veterans. Female in this case is the 82nd Airborne Army veteran Emery, which goes by Emery EXP, which now has turned into a content creator / model with over 100,000 Instagram followers, a Twitch partnership for streaming, and also has 50,000 Twitter followers.
You're welcome. 35 when this whole thing started.
And this comes at a clash with Tommy C, SFTP, which is known to be on the YouTube platform here, does various streams talking about pop culture.
Fucking Lucky Tim Pool. Did you see that?
All by Tim Pool.
Oh, kiss that one goodbye. You know,
does various streams talking about pop culture, media stuff. He actually did make some videos on Onision in his regards to his veteran service and things that he claimed to do while he was in the military, and actually followed that case to the very end, and even coming to an ending closing of his case in regards to some of the accusations that were made by Chris Hansen. But he has been very deep in the veteran community and talking.
That is not fucking true. And I don't know how you came to that conclusion, because I did 2 military videos on Onision. Have I done another military video? I don't even talk to any veterans other than, you know, and me and Dave haven't spoken in a long time, other than Vega, and I never served with him. I've been out of the military for 10 years. I left the VFW. I've been on the VFW since 2014. Not because I didn't want to, it's because the divorce was just taking all my time. And, you know, I had to be there at a moment's notice in case my wife was going to claim that, you know, I was taking the VFW over my daughter. And believe me, that would have gone to court. So I am not very deep in the veteran community. I don't own one stupid hat. Not one. You know, I think the most I wear my Bowie hat. And I'm going to wear it again this vacation at the Triangle Houses last summer.
Yeah.
Now, I talk a lot about the military, but most of the things I talk about, other than, the Onision thing, which we had to take seriously because there's a policy on YouTube that you cannot, I can't do what I did with Emery on YouTube. I lose my channel or get a strike. So what we did is we went over his records that were available, translated a lot of them for people who don't understand it, but we made it abundantly clear that under the law, he's a veteran. We just said, it's not the kind of record you want to brag about. So that's the only thing we did. And one of the reasons he made a comment that drove me up a wall. By the way, it took a year to come out because I had been collecting stuff. He at one point said, why don't you apologize to me and thank me for my service? Well, we got a hold of his service record. It's terrible. It's like laughably bad, right? But he's a veteran, I guess. He guess. And again, one of the he also hates the military. It would infuriate me if somebody that did that poor job said, my stupid YouTube job's harder than being in the military. Although he couldn't claim that because they always talked about how mean they were to him. That'd be a little rough even for Onision. I'm in no bro community. I'm in no militia. I'm in no veterans groups. I don't know if I can go back after this. Are you that guy? I don't know if I go. So I'm not any deep in the mud. Most of the stories I've told about my military career were fuck ups that were funny or crazy things that happened in Germany, and the people I met, which is probably the most rewarding thing about being in the military. That's all I've talked about. That's it. No, I'm not fucking, I don't have a big fucking beard and the stupid hat and a hunting rifle, and that's not my scene. I never connected with those guys when I was in the military. That's not my bag. My issues with the military, and one of the things that blinded me, is I did see sexism towards men on certain issues, and I'm sure that's not going to make it in fucking the article. I'm sure females experience. I don't know them all. I know there was something with uniforms that was kind of sexist against them. That's the only one I'm aware of. But I'm sure there was much more than that. I'm sure there's plenty of sexism. So racism, sexism, the whole nine. By the way, on every side.
That's a lot of money, I guess, for a person.
But I think the most part, military folks were good. For the most part, same as the men. Women did their duty. But I'm not talking about fucking. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the shitbags. The ones that hold it up for everybody. And by the way, no gender had a lock on it. None. Neither one. Let me make that abundantly clear when it's not put in the military. My mistake and disrespect for how is disrespectful is because I was arrogant and I just put that image on her. Now, I've had other girls call them and I put the positive image on her. That was my mistake and I paid for it. And, it was pretty funny. Pretty funny at the end of the day. But I am not a part of any organization or clique. I hate cliques. And I didn't really do them in the military. Probably would. I think if I would have went farther. To be perfectly honest, I've never been cliquish. I'm probably more cliquish now with the YouTube thing because everybody's a fucking backstabbing bastard.
About some of those issues on here. And looks like he didn't do his due diligence, but the tweets read this. Biscuit Basher.
I did. You're right about that. There's the guy, the former Shot from the Point member, Biscuit.
Yeah, he is no longer with us.
He's no longer with us.
Yeah. Writes, content creation is more exhausting than being in the military. Tommy, would you care to weigh in? And Emery responds back to this inquiry and says, girl, don't listen to his ass. I was literally in the military, and full-time content creation is more exhausting some days. Your hard work is valid. Tommy then responds and says, what? Oh, that's a woman. Carry on. To be fair, Emery is talking in a spectrum. She said some days. She's not saying every day.
Sure.
I thought for a second he was about to say, to be fair, Emery is a woman.
That would be, I thought the same thing. That would have made me laugh.
That'd be hilarious.
Well, I the way when she said that, I was like, well, that's the words of a lot, you could talk tough like that. Look, this is a fact. This is not a criticism.
For a person of color.
Women don't enter combat. All right, their combat support is most. That doesn't mean they can't get killed. Thank you, Jessica. Tommy can't be. What did she say? Hold on a second. I gotta see
Tommy
that.
can't be misogynistic and a flirty women lover at the same time. Watch anyone stream and they would see that. LOL.
I'm mad. You've seen me, my daughter. I'm a sucker, man. Man, I love women, every part of them. You know, nothing. I was talking to Turkey Tom, little incel, and you know, he was a little incelly when he was in high school. Now that he's out, he even said to me, he's like, "You're right. Fucking women are badass are the best." I'm like, "You're damn right." You know, and now you're getting a fucking little perspective on shit. Oh, maybe I exposed him. His whole fucking act. Oh, I'm so sorry, Tommy.
You exposed him, bro.
Oh, I just exposed Turkey
Damn.
Tom. I'm so. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh no, I'm gonna get Gabby.
ruining his career,
I'm gonna get
bro.
Nick DeOrio, Gabby handed. Oh no. Oh no.
Turkey
Oh
Tom saw
no.
the
Turkey
light.
Tom doesn't actually hate women. He's.
He saw the light, Tommy.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He's out of that crazy high school environment where you actually can talk to people and get to know who they are. He's gonna be mad at me. I just ruined his career.
He posted a picture of him and his girlfand. Like that's
Yeah, he's
basically
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But he's got he's got all those incel fans. I don't know. What's he gonna do? You stabbed us in the back. You're like Kevin Smith and lied about He-Man. You know?
Is it kind of like when a female influencer says she has a boyfriend, a fucking incel? Male
Yes,
influencer
they,
says
exactly.
she has a girlfriend?
That's why a
much, yeah,
female
exactly.
can't say they have a boyfriend because it ruins the fantasy. Now
Yeah.
Turkey Tom's not an incel. I really literally ruined his career. I don't know what I'm going to do to pay him back. You know?
And people will experience differences in regards to more hard labor, sometimes more mental exhaustion, things like that as they serve. And I can tell you, as somebody that is serving, that is very
Oh,
true.
she's
That
serving.
there's days where I'm making content from my house or whatever because it's more time consuming, it's more thought processing. Where sometimes in the military,
That's a
I'm
lot of
spending
money, I
days where I
guess,
could be
for a person
literally
of color.
sitting around at certain points. But
I mean, that's all true. And and again, that was the part of the fucking tweet that I should have probably paid more attention to. It's just, but see, I'm looking at as far as logistics. No, really optics, excuse me. It's not the way the military haters are going to take it. They're going to leave that out, like I left that out, just for a different reason. There's some days. But that being said, he and her are absolutely true. There's some down days. But people know what you mean when you say, "Oh, military is easy." Some of these days, and there is a lot of benefits. I mean, they had to get competitive when the draft went by. There is the free education. There is all these opportunities that you don't even have to take advantage of. In fact, they count on you not taking advantage of it because they spend so much money per soldier. Those are true. That's when I should have realized that she was the real deal, at least a person who had served. But I just saw, I burned over it. I just saw her, lending credibility, and she did, whether she knows it or not, or she realizes it or not, to people that, think it's funny that, or say that you guys lost Vietnam and gloat over it. I'm not saying, whether it's a fact or not, and gloat over that. That's not exactly a pro-military person. I don't know how many comments I saw where, I hate the military, but I like you. So I don't know if that's what she was courting. And that's my biggest problem with the comment. I still have a problem with the comment. But, all right, again, so she's helping out a buddy. I get that.
that's not every day,
That's
and
a
there
lot
is
of
a
money,
day
I
in,
guess,
day out
for a
routine. But
person of
I do have
color.
to caveat, obviously,
He is currently serving. I don't know, but leave him alone because he can't defend himself with nastiness. He cannot do it because they watch his accounts. So please be fair.
before somebody comes at me, we're not talking about combat situations. We're talking about garrison. We're talking about just a regular day in the military. Emery then goes on to say, oh, that's an incel. Never mind, crying face. Tommy then responds back, the incel lifted the shit you were supposed to have been able to lift each and every detail. I was there. You girls were always told to step aside. We got it, he says. And 90% had no problem with letting that happen. And I'm telling the truth. Right battle? Yeah. So he has assumed that she's a veteran by calling her a battle buddy.
No, I wasn't. So he's suggesting that I knew ahead of time and now I'm lying.
Yeah.
That's horseshit.
Yeah.
You don't think I was being obnoxious? You don't think I was being sarcastic? Or what I was really trying to do is, I'll tell you exactly what I was trying to do. If I got any indication she didn't know what that meant, I won. Because remember, I believe, let me tell you with the whole battle thing, I believed that she was making shit up, that she wasn't there. And we all know the end of that story. So, I throw something like that. Here's the in basic
That's
training,
a lot of money,
and I hope
I
they got
guess,
rid of it.
for a person
And we used to
of
make
color.
fun of people. The only people that called themselves battle were all hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo, that guy. So, hey, battle, what's going on, battle? And like, because in basic training, get this, you get a partner, and you're not really supposed to stay together, and you call them, I'm not joking, your battle buddy. Sounds like some shit you get from G.I. Joe. Hey, Kenner produces your battle buddy with his very own M16. That's it. All right, so I never used that. I never said that, right? As soon as I got basic training, I don't think it exited my mouth unless I was being completely and totally sarcastic. So to sit there and kind of suggest that I knew because I called her battle is really, that you don't think I was being a wise ass. Now, I understand you can't get inflection in people's voices on Twitter, so maybe the guy, maybe an honest mistake, but it certainly isn't evidence that I knew. That's just me being an asshole. Which, by the way, I was a complete jerk the entire conversation. The only seriously thing that I said was when I posted at Twitter the Stolen Valor woman and said, I don't believe you, peace. That was, and I meant that, like, get the fuck out, bye, mute. My rest of my day will be normal. That's what happened. But to suggest that I said that, at least, that's a little thin, dude. That's a real thin.
But he then goes on to say further things, which he then says he doubts she even served, but the conversation continues.
Yeah, so that doesn't make sense. I said I called her battle, and then I said I doubt that I doubt he even served. So it's one or the other. No, I didn't believe it. You can't be a wise ass. I've actually said that before to other people I thought were full of shit on Twitter. They weren't in the 82nd Airborne.
Yeah,
she
they
says
have
no.
the most amazing military picture of all time.
Yeah, I know.
I
know. And you don't really help. I don't care what you think. It helps if she's good looking. That was like extra salt on the wound. And it was probably better promotion for her. I can't believe 7 the 16th. It was a fucking 10 days ago. Holy shit. It feels like it was a year.
Never had that experience. Some of the scrawny little boys I deploy with had biceps the size of my wrist, and it was quite the opposite.
And you've seen her pictures, it's true. So I'm hearing that biceps the size of your wrist. Who are you, fucking the Incredible Hulk? You She-Hulk? Get the fuck out of here! Now, this is a mistake, DD214 time, but I'm not demanding it. Like, some people accusing me demanding or DD2. I was just like, get out of here, it's DD214 time. Again, you can't get inflection. But he doesn't really ride me on that one. This is the one I was expecting him to ride me on, the DD214 time.
Tommy C. then responds, DD214 time? No. Female in quotations military. They say streaming is harder than service. All the real female heroes I met in the Army would never say anything that stupid. Only big
No,
mouth.
I met the first one. Because she squared the fuck away. And she's not stupid.
Sick call rangers trying to get out of everything via their vagina wood. As you can see, he is coming at
Pussy, you couldn't say vagina.
her in a fashion that's very inflammatory. You really can't read. I said sometimes. You have no worries about the security of your livelihood in the military, health.
Yeah, if you spend all your fucking money, I bet you'd agree with me on that. How many jackasses, Emery, do you know that bought cars they couldn't afford or houses they couldn't afford? So every check was going to wherever they loaned. I bet you know somebody like that. But she's right. If you manage your money like a human being,
Do you get pussy?
it's like this. You only make like I only make it like $20,000 a year, right? Like on money. But if you took everything together, it was like $40,000 a year. Like everything that's paid for. It's a great life. So a lot of that $20,000 is disposable income, unless you put it in something that you can't afford, which a lot of people do. I'm sure she knows that.
Care, paid vacation, education. You just had to show up. Not so easy.
And we used to say that in fairness to her too. It's like all you got to do, show up and look good. And that's right. Just stay squared away, which is actually hard for a lot of people, believe it or not. But I mean, I don't know. Like when I'm doing like this, and I've made a living at it for 5 years now. Like even showing up and look good. There's never a chance that somebody's going to come here, maybe the exception of my wife, and tell me my uniform's fucked up and they're going to write a report and maybe I won't be able to go out this weekend because this report's coming up and I have to ask for a weekend pass. None of that's the case. I would say that's harder than for streaming. Now everybody comes at this differently. This is a fucking breeze. Maybe because I suck. I don't know, right? But this is a breeze. And I still resent it. But again, this should have been a tip-off, boy.
Easy in the real world, my guy. If you don't bust your ass, you don't get shit. There is a phrase.
I think that's easier. I don't know. Call me crazy. I think that's easier because then you really don't gotta depend on anybody else yourself, and you don't gotta blame anybody but yourself. And that might be just a perspective thing.
In the military, that people will say be in the right uniform, right place, right time, and that's half the battle of being in the military. And I would say that's pretty accurate or pretty true.
Right.
There is more to that if you want to truly be successful.
Yeah, if you that's the bare minimum, by the way. Yeah, if you show up, look good, do cross the T's, dot the I's, but you're supposed to be going to school and you're supposed to be volunteering for stuff and you're supposed to be trying to get move up. Otherwise, it's just you're there and you'll stay at E4 forever. I bet you'd agree with that. Agree with me on that, Nikki. If you just do that, show up, look good, that's it. You're getting E4.
But I will say, for the most part, if you're following those 3 basic rules, you're probably going to be
okay, but not exceptional.
Okay soldier, sailor, airman, marine, whatever it is, and having a positive attitude would be the only thing I would add to that. But Tommy does come back at her and says this: I stream for a living and I deployed and no longer believe you served. This conversation is over. Emery then drops just one photo and says K. As you can see, this is her in her dress uniform, showing every bit of some
it's iconic.
accolades that she has earned. Some of her proof of her service right here, which, if someone wants to claim fake, I'd be like, no one would probably wear all this uniform.
Oh, I wouldn't. That's another thing. There was a troop that called in that questioned her legitimacy based on some of the photo, and we strongly disagreed with him, if not shut him down.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And we were friendly about it. I bet that's not going to make it in. No, she's legit. Her shit's in the right place. They may have used the background for the thing. They probably took it against they could have took it against the green screen. And they just barred the thing off a Google.
That's exactly what she said they did.
Oh, that's exactly what they said she did? All right. Well, I'm not saying that our friend doesn't have the right to question it. But, we said, no, I'm sorry. I could do that.
Form and take a photo in this manner. It's probably for some kind of official picture that they might need for the command, things like that. People do get these photos pretty regularly, and I doubt somebody would fake a photo to this extent.
And I never said that shit. Well, he never says I did. I never even suggested that shit.
It's not a catfish type scenario where people would use that photo for something else, but yeah.
I think those eyes are fake. Jesus Christ, they're beautiful. That can't be real. It's got to be a filter.
Yes, it does look like she served. If you look at her Instagram, you can see various uniform items that she does use during some of her photo shoots, which is not really...
She's actually thinner in the military. Now she's all buff.
Military affiliated. I will say I've done plenty of research on this veteran right here, and don't worry, I've done it. You guys can check her Instagram out. I'll link it down below as well. I will say that there are a lot of people that will probably discredit female military members or veterans from serving versus a male, obviously because this is a more male-dominated organization. But we could go down that whole entire alleyway on an entire separate video on women being in the military, but there's more to it. This begs to ask the question, is the military going internal? First, we look at recent events of Black Rifle Coffee Company and things like that, where you saw a lot of...
I don't drink that shit, and I'm supposed to be the bro veteran.
The veteran community actually...
I had nothing to do with that, even when I guess they were right-wing. I guess they're left-wing. I don't know what the fuck they... I don't care. I'm not into that veteran crap.
Against Black Rifle for some of the remarks they made in a New York Times article where they were quoted. Now, we're also looking at situations like this where you're seeing veterans come at each other, and I will say that this is not the first or last time where you're going to see veterans coming at each other, and even some remarks that were made by Grant Thumb and...
Vault is haram to be up this late and playing Doki Doki. Haram police. Vault, you hear that?
You, core. Fuck you, core.
Coming back against Dakota Meyer, the Medal of Honor recipient. We are seeing this happen more and more in 2021 than I think we've ever seen before. And this is actually disregarding the entire idea or argument of males versus females and who's joining in.
I honestly, I think this the way he framed this is respectfully ridiculous. If you put any amount of group of people in any chat room, whether it be all military or all gamers, they're gonna argue every time. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's this idea that there, this is this massive disrespect on the scale, and even massive disrespect for women. I mean, God, the stars had to completely align for this incident to happen. She had to be exceptional. She was. She had to be strong. She was. She had to basically be like, no one is going to sit there and tell me that she's the average soldier. I don't think she's the average soldier. Now, I read something where she's like totally humble and like, no, I wasn't a super soldier. To me, she was.
Yeah.
To me, she was. But yeah, it doesn't compare to the type of stuff Vega did. But as far as like, what she was expected, she's an overachiever in the military. She did more than I did. Because probably I was more interested in German broads. That was my weakness. Yeah, the women I hated so much. I couldn't stay away from them. And yeah, I did the whole just show up. Because the way I saw it, when I got through basic and everything, and my AIT was like 22 weeks or some stupid horse shit like that. I was like, well, I deserve a break. So I'm just I learned how things work, show up on time, do what you're told and look good. And it became a habit. It didn't become a habit for her. She challenged herself a lot more than that's one of my biggest regrets is I didn't challenge myself enough.
That's a lot of money, I guess,
just
for a person
having a good old
color.
fucking time. The worst place I could have been sent was Germany right away, and it happened. I did. I fell in love with the country. I fell in love with the girls. I fell in love with the way of life. I fell in love with the fact that you can go to a club and somebody doesn't go back in their car, pull out a gun and blow somebody's brains out. There's a pretty good chance that's never gonna fucking happen. Not like it was in New Jersey. I did. I got distracted by it. And it really hurt me in the end. She didn't sit on her laurels. I did, and I paid for it. But, it doesn't make me any less proud, which I'm trying to lose the pride part, that I did do it. But is it easier than streaming? Even when it was easy. God, the kind of shit I had to live. You had to go to these goddamn, I was always moving electronic equipment. I was always moving something to take it. It seems like we were fucking taking accountability and stuff constantly. It was painstaking. There always could be somebody like up your fucking ass. This is just garrison. Forget fucking being deployed. I show up. I walk downstairs. I'm at work. Nobody's my boss. All I gotta do is be funny. And even if I screw up, what happens, Matt? Well, we'll get them next time.
Yep. Just take
Like,
the
I'm
L and move
sorry.
on.
Like, if there's no get them next time, even in garrison, you get written up, you can't go out that fucking weekend, and you get lectured, you get a reputation of being a shitbag. Yeah, God, maybe it's a complete perspective thing. I have a feeling the military may have been easier for her than it was for me. All right, and I'm okay with that. All right, by the way, years ago on this channel, said many times, there is plenty of women out there that out soldier the shit out of me. Plenty. I said it years ago. I just didn't like the way she framed it because I knew how it was going to be used, and it was. Not her fault, but it was. And it irritates the shit out of me. And I have a feeling when we look at some of these comments, it's going to irritate the shit out of them. I think they're going to sound like, he's a douchebag, but he's not 100% wrong. And then the fact that she was so squared away and lent that kind of credibility out that, one of these, and I know these social media fucking permanent victims. Oh, somebody was mean to me. Oh, somebody called me not a real gamer because I'm a girl. I'm like, oh God, cry your fucking eyes out. Jesus.
Not and all that kind of stuff. But I will say that there is pockets of good doing in the veteran and military community where people are actually looking out for each other and have each other's backs.
I would say it's the majority. Pockets? Are you trying to say that I don't care about her? Yeah. Did you realize that? I don't care about her? I want bad things to happen to her? No. I fucking laughed the whole thing off as well. If she's got to be successful at my expense, at least I help the veteran.
Get pussy?
Dude, I slay.
Pockets? Erica Wickley. The dude is, I don't want to really go after him like that because he can't come back. I don't know. Here's the thing. His channel is, and I think there's a place for this. It's like military drama. It's drama channel. For the military. I think
It's
he even calls himself
it's a
TMZ.
military commentary channel.
TMZ. Yeah. He does a great job. By the way, I'm suggesting, in fact, right now, here we go. I suggest you all follow him, all right? But, I mean, he's not as bad as what I heard coming. But, it's like there are pockets. I would say it's a majority. I don't know. I haven't talked to some of my guys in years. But if any of them called me up and said they were stuck here or something happened, I don't know if I would have had to know him to a certain level, and I have to go out and meet him if I haven't seen him in a while. But God, I'm not that cold.
But I have to say that, like, as we move further and further away, and our enemy is no longer the Middle East or
we're gonna kill each other.
Whatever our next adversary is, that focus has, I think, been lost in the regards that we are veterans or military community, and the fact that essentially
This is the thing I never got in just life in general. The only community I'm in is my family. The only time I was in a community was when I was in the military. I don't like that family shit. It sounds too much like goddamn cult bullshit. Now, this doesn't mean you don't stick up and look out for our veterans or raise money or whatever you do, but it's like it gets a little too cliquey for me, that way of thinking, and that's one of the reasons I don't participate in these types of things. Nothing wrong with doing it, by the way, just not my bag. I like the fact that I don't have to have a military bearing 10 years after I left.
I want to call this out. I believe there is a facade of some kind in the I got your 6, the 22 a day, all of those things that we talk about, because it's frustrating, because then we go on these forums and we see people coming at each other.
I think you're conflating two things. There is a facade out there, and it's a dangerous one. I personally didn't have to experience, but I didn't trust everybody I was with. It gets you killed in combat. That I fucking know. I don't have to have been in combat to know that. But I've heard stories about guys pulling guns on each other. I've heard all that stuff where things get out of control, and maybe somebody doesn't have somebody 6'6", but they keep the facade up. But I don't know if going on an internet forum where nobody can see each other and everybody usually acts like assholes anyway is a really good indicator that the relationship between veterans and wanting to help each other out is degrading some way. I think you're gonna have to get a little more detail, a little more specific than that. I think you have to give me actual examples in the field, not fucking online. I don't think that's fair at all. I don't think it's fair to troops. And it's like, we know what people do on social media. They're assholes. They want to say everything that comes out here that they wouldn't do it in front of your face. And how many people have gripes? Oh God, guys can do. No one bitches more than people in the military. They love to bitching. If you don't bitch with them, they get mad at you. So I don't know if that's a very good indicator. Now, if you guys, I think you're onto something, but you're in the wrong fucking church, man.
All the time, even on my comments on this YouTube channel. So it's not all get along and let's just be friends. We understand that that's never going to be the case, because there are varying perspectives, as you can see, where she said her time in the service was not that challenging and she had harder days streaming maybe than compared to Tommy. But Tommy has never
I think she had it harder than me. I do. I don't think you get what she gets without working your monkey ass off. But yeah, she's right. There's downtime. Thank God, But I resented the thing. Yeah, she was better than I ever hoped to have been.
She served with Emery to even say if she was a good soldier, a bad soldier.
He's right about this. I'm going to rewind this. This is where he's 100% correct, and I should have been. This is probably the worst thing I did.
Compared to Tommy. But Tommy has never actually served with Emery to even say if she was a good soldier, a bad soldier, and really just assumes
I know enough now.
that she's blended in with every other female he's probably experienced. And
another thing is, again, why don't you give me credit? I didn't say fucking all females were fucking bad. I said a minority, just like the men.
As anecdotal evidence. Now, the Task and Purpose article does go into this further. And
how much evidence do you need? How much anecdotal, I have anecdotal. How much hard evidence do you need to slight somebody on Twitter?
Looks at her service and says that she was discharged medically for some injuries she received for a spinal injury that she had, which seems like it's pretty serious, along with her femur, which is broken, which could very much leave somebody with long-lasting injuries that they're going to deal with for a longer period of time. And she probably wasn't able to do the basic tasks anymore of the military.
And I'll tell you something else.
Makes sense. There are people that do get medically
this guy's
discharged.
not going to talk about. I didn't get to leave on my own terms either. I had to leave because my wife left me. And if I got sent back to the States, I would never have seen my daughter again. I've said this many times before. This trick they pull over here. You get sent back, you get pinpointed somewhere else. They run to court and say you abandoned them. And you lose everything as far as custody is concerned. If it wasn't for Sergeant Spady, love him to death. I know he's not happy with me being a Trump guy over the years, but I still love him, even though he hates Trump. And he saved my family. All right? He absolutely saved my fucking family. So you know, that being said, the mental strain and the difficulty of justice, and you want. I used to call Dave back in 2011, 12, and all I talked about, it drove him nuts because he'd been out a year or two already. Oh, it's army, all day and fucking night. It's all I could talk about. It's all I fucking talk. So I can, her being such a badass, I can't imagine what it was like to leave for her. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's going, it wasn't too hard. I don't know. It was really difficult for me to leave because I loved it. And I knew, and it wasn't even that. It wasn't even like, because I could take more advantage of it. It's just that I knew I would never be as happy.
Do you get pussy?
Dude, I slay.
During that time period. I knew this was the best years of my life. And I was right. So I can only imagine what she went through. And believe me, I have tons of empathy, regardless of what's between her legs, for what she went through if she went through something like that.
For those things, I don't want to speculate any further on that, but I do want to give some credit to Tommy as well on this to be more balanced and fair at the end of this and say there is the Twitter mob that is out there that will come after somebody. Emery has 50,000 followers on Twitter alone. I will say that I don't know for a fact, but I will speculate.
First of all, she only hit 35. I know what he's saying. I would say, what's up? Well, thank you so much, Woggy. You know,
would have been funny if like 15K of your followers went to follow her.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I'd be laughing all day and night. Fantastic. At least we got Green Man. All right, let's watch this.
That's all we need, man.
At least we got. I don't know what I would have done without Green Man. Okay, listen to this.
Somebody. Emery has 50,000 followers on Twitter alone. And I will say that I don't know for a fact, but I will speculate here a little bit. But if this message was delivered on a different platform where Tommy had a little bit of leverage, maybe like YouTube or something like that, that this may have been received a little bit differently because his core audience is more so there than on his Twitter account. So this is part of the video where...
But I still would have been wrong. And I know what he's saying. I mean, he's basically saying, feed my family. You know, that could have very well happened. If I was a bigger, you know, if I wasn't one of these people, by the way, I would have though. If I was a million, like 2-3 million sub creator, I could have just overwhelmed her with numbers. And then they would have called her a shitbag. They would have called her, said she didn't serve. But I'd like to think, in fact, I know that I definitely would have made it a point that wasn't the case. A lot of creators won't do that. And I've been a victim of it myself. When somebody bigger than you, sometimes I can punch up and land, and sometimes you miss, and then you get tagged. Whatever accusation they made about you got tagged. So in that one sense, he's right. If I was like so much bigger than her, this could have gone the wrong way. And I am grateful that it didn't, because the truth is much more important than what the fans think about me or whatever her followers think about me. So yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. I don't think I was ever big enough to mollywop her like that. But yeah, I mean, you know, you saw it with Keemstar. I want to drag it up on a good relationship thing. He flat out lied and said that I couldn't feed my family, you know, and then I was begging him for money for Tommy. I don't know what the fuck it was, and you could see that. I even like embraced the whole meme that he couldn't feel my family. I put my kid in the thumbnail, probably one of the dumbest things I ever did. And I started off satirically saying, "Oh, we're gonna have to put you up for adoption, little Tommy. Sorry, can't feed me." Keemstar says, "Keemstar's fired me. Bye." You know. And then right. Go look, and he's right. Go look at the comments. And even though it's completely ridiculous, and I fucking embrace the whole thing as far as like being ridiculous, you get down there. You shouldn't ask Keemstar to ask you to feed your family. I never did. It's a lie. So yeah, he's right, man. The truth does not always fucking come out on top. You know.
Running Riot just paid you a compliment in the chat. Just figured
What do you say?
I'd shut that up.
What do you say?
He said, you did the right thing and admitted the mistake. Most of YouTubers never do that. Big ups for that, buddy.
I love you, Running Riot. You good man. Running Riot, as much as I yell at him, he's a really good person. He's just
Yeah, man, he's chill.
asshole.
He's chill.
No, he is.
Yeah.
No, like he's got a special place in my heart, even though he's a left-wing wacko.
I ask you guys, what do you think about the veteran and military community when we talk about having each other's backs and being there for each other?
It doesn't mean I have to agree with you on Twitter. I'm sorry, buddy. Get the fuck out of here.
And doing that, do you really think that this is something that most people are truthfully about, or do you feel like this is maybe a facade that is something that we just speak about but don't
It's two
really
different
practice,
things completely.
as we've seen on various cases across social media? As always, if you guys do support what we do on this channel, we do have a
Pay
link down
me
below to
money.
patreon.com where you can get some special perks and benefits. Also, on top of that, we
Imagine
do have a
down 100K.
YouTube join button for the membership below that you can get
Actually, the
some
channel's
special
not
perks
that
and
bad.
benefits on.
The channel's pretty good. Check it out. I don't always agree with the guy. I think he's being a little ridiculous, but he probably doesn't have that much time. I also worry about some of his superiors. I'm sure he'd probably get mad if I said this. I would not put it past the Army to say, "Are you going to make a video like this? I wasn't thinking of it. Maybe you should." I really want it, but I wasn't in the Army when social media was there. I mean, there was Twitter and Facebook, but it's not as prevalent as it is now, and it wasn't looked at as a way to reach people like it is now. I wonder. You know when this channel is going to get really good when he gets out.
Yeah.
When he gets the
talk
fuck
most
out.
freely.
That's going to be it. And I wonder, I think you're totally conflating what goes on in the thread, which is absolutely meaningless. But I do think you're onto something about this, I got you sick stuff. I know what you're talking about, bro. And it's fucking scary. And I felt it too. So, yeah, I think there's probably some value. And he brings up funny stuff and what have you. The only thing, the major criticism that wasn't in this video, he is one of those guys, and Lefty's going to love me for this. You didn't serve, therefore you can't say. Bullshit, it's a civilian army. I've said this before on the show. You have every right to criticize the military. You have every right to criticize, especially generals and officers, on their decisions. If you can't criticize the military as a civilian or somebody that doesn't serve, you can't criticize foreign policy. And I do see him as that's the only thing that irritates me about him. When people say you haven't served and you don't know what you're talking about. So it's when you start talking about shit like combat. All right. Not what the military tries. Like, all right, military goes into Iraq. All right. I don't know about individual soldiers, right, and criticizing them. But I think it's more than fair to criticize how they conduct themselves as a group. I think it's more than fair to say how generals, use their soldiers and how they get them to accomplish missions. I think it's more than fair to say where you think they should be and not be, because that's foreign policy. And God damn it, you don't need to serve to fucking have an opinion on that. And if any soldier says to you, well, you never served, you can't say, when you're saying, I don't think we should be in Syria, you tell them to go suck your balls. Just make sure you're bigger than them or can run away real fast.
That's a lot of money, I guess.
I hate
for
that.
A person of
I
color.
hate that. Tommy, it is infecting him, by the way. Tommy's gaining. That's because yeah, I guess. I think I actually, it did help me on Twitter. I don't think it helped me on YouTube too much. But it's just been slow drama. So I really wanted to put all this stuff out. I highly recommend you check out Nicky MGTV. He can give a unique perspective by still being in and his memory being fresh. But there are some things he can't say. If you do have some criticism for him for some reason, please be respectful. And if you start being a shit, don't act like a tough guy. He can't come at you. He's got to watch what he says. So if you start going after his mom or something like that, and he's like, "Who's just taking it?" No, he has to. And fuck you. You're no fan of mine if you said anything like that. I mean, I just disagree with the guy. Yeah, I would have liked him to say that, we resolved the whole thing. But I guess that's part of the punishment. All right? To a certain extent. People start lying and omitting. And again, I don't give a shit if, Joe fucking Antifa with his fucking... with his stupid fucking flags in his bio says I'm a misogynist. He doesn't know me. He didn't say it with me. So that doesn't bother me. But yeah, I do care if I get framed by any kind of mainstream media as something, look, talk shit, get hit. That's all that happened. That's all. We talk shit.
You got
That's
hit.
it. And I got hit. That's it. That's all that happened.
Bad.
Yeah, you got hit all right.
You
You don't think I've ever made a fool of myself in front of a woman before? You gonna tell me you didn't?
No, I have.
All right, but I want this on the record, and again, I will apologize to Amory, which I didn't do right away because I thought, like, she called me an incel, fuck her, you know. Apologize to her, apologize to every woman I served with, and I apologize absolutely to women in general. I do not believe the stereotypical, or the one I had in my mind, shitbag female is the majority. I don't even think it's more than 10%. I'm thinking you're well above the 90th percentile on wonderful women, brave women that serve our military. All right. And I tell you something. Yeah. You know, maybe you can always say that, you know, yeah, she's combat support because she's a woman. But guess what? A fucking round goes through her chest the same way it goes through mine. A mortar hits her the same way it hits me. The same way it would hit Vega or any other Rambo super fucking hero. All right. And I think, again, respect. And you know what? This woman has handled herself with a complete class. She could have fucking carried this on. She could have made herself a bigger victim. She could have hammered me. She could have done it. And I have it on pretty good words that she was encouraged to, and she decided not to. All right? So I have nothing but respect for this girl. She's a wonderful person. And it seems like, I mean, I can only tell by social media. And again, respect. Nothing but respect. Don't take my fucking stupid ass morning Twitter, I want to fucking fuck with somebody attitude as this is the way I actually feel about our brave women in the military. Not for a second. And they're brave. No shit. All right, that's all I can say about that. Riveter, what you got?
Hey, I know you're not in the States anymore, but did you see where there was a Senate subcommittee that passed a bill on it, or I guess not necessarily a bill, but it's something to be considered for women to have to register for the draft?
Yes. I got a problem with it. Yeah, I think it's well, I think what the see, after they got rid of the draft, I want to say they got rid of 72. Well, you would know, you old fart. 72. Well, actually, no, you would know. You were a kid. You're only 10 years older than me. Do you remember?
Well,
how well do you remember Vietnam?
Let's see. I was born in '68. Vietnam was over with.
You remember like I do. Don't.
Tommy, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you go slow mode, please?
Yeah.
Sure. Got it. All right, hold on a second. Ooh, Britbong's here. Hey, Britbong. Still a loser? I can take an L like this and you still live with your parents? Is it him?
I'm not sure. It's just some guy spamming numbers.
Oh, okay.
It's different channels and
goodbye, sir. Whatever.
Well, really, the only thing that I guess is something to be considered is...
Hold on, throbbing baby dicks. I actually say that to my wife to make her fucking laugh. I'll say, I can make you laugh at any time I want. She goes, no, you can't. And I go, throbbing veiny cocks. She goes, ooh. That's why it's funny to me. I don't know why. Stop it. And she's like a little kid. If you say, you just look at a little kid and go, fart. And they're like, ah! They go nuts. They go berserk. My wife's like that with throbbing veiny cocks. I go figure. Go ahead, Riveter. Pick up. Try to recover from that one. Shoot.
Okay, so is the only thing really is, of course, we don't have an active draft, whatever, but if anyone that's wanting to go on to college, if you want to qualify for any type of government assistance like grants, things like that, you have to be registered for the draft. If you don't, then you don't get the money. So, that's the only thing, that I know of that's really pertinent to the draft.
The only reason they're drafting, there's probably two reasons. Fucking general probably want more bodies. That's probably low on the list, though. The really reason they're drafting from the fucking military is because the protests over the Vietnam War weren't as much for the war as they were for the draft. People didn't think they should have to go if they didn't fucking believe it. If they fixed that problem. And ever since then, you can't play the soldier victim. He's in a war that he doesn't understand. You can't play that stupid fucking victim card anymore because it's all volunteer.
That's
if
a
you
lot
don't
of money, I
understand,
guess,
you ask
for
for
a
it.
person of color.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not him. It's the other idiot in England that's going to lose all his money one day. Oh.
The guy who works at a gas station.
Yeah, no, it's not him. That wasn't Britbon.
the other
That's
one.
the other idiot. The twin idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a piece of crap. That's who it is. It's the other day. I was saying that because evading threat, that's not a Britbon move. That's the guy Turkey Tom made a kick-ass video on.
Amazing.
Your visa, everybody, let him know. Your visa's running out. Your visa's running out. Yeah. You know what I was told he did? What he started doing was he's realizing his visa's gonna run out. So he concentrated on his stupid fucking channel. So at least he could like probably ship some of that goddamn money. Right? And he's spending it on this shit, if you can believe that. What a psychopath. Boy, Turkey Tom was wrong about you and your brother.
And now he's a member in the stream, so I can't.
He's running out.
Can't hide him in the chat.
By the way, I think I get that money. I did the math one time. I think I got the money, so I don't care. You know.
So dude is paying you money to spam your chat. So
Yeah. Your brother's a shitty weatherman. Go ahead, Riveter.
The only thing else really is I wanted to thank you publicly for your advice yesterday.
That's a lot of money, I guess.
What was my advice
So-
yesterday?
Well, you know, we had a thing where we had
Riveter, I
covered,
said you were fucked. How good advice could that be? let's be honest here.
Well, no, I mean you gave some options, and
Yeah, I did.
the bottom line is the video's still up and it's not going down, and there's no claim against it right now.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. You took care of it?
so
All right.
yeah.
Going back to the draft thing. All right.
Yeah.
They want women in the military. It's one thing to lose your boy. It's another thing to lose your little girl. Your girls get drafted. They think they probably can leverage that as a weapon if they don't agree with the particular conflict, or more likely a Republican being in office. That's why I think they're doing it. That's why
Well, you know, my feelings on it is, and it's going to come across, I guess, as misogynist or whatever, but I just I have a good friend of mine who is he's a retired lieutenant colonel from the 101st, and you know his views on women in combat, and I kind of agree with him. Is that you know it's bad enough when you look over there and you see your buddy that's been shot.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even a base take. Who wants to see a fucking, a girl's face completely imploded?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think, I'm sorry, as tight as those guys are, I think that affect men in ways that you don't even want to know
That's a lot of money, I
in
guess.
combat. I'm
for a
absolutely
person of color.
proudly against it. I will say
Yeah,
this. There are women, probably like Amory, that probably have the guts to do it, maybe even the strength and the fortitude. The problem is they're the exception, not the rule. I think there's more guys that can do it just based on biology than women. I don't believe it. I think it's wrong. I think some things should be reserved for men. And the worst thing on the motherfucking planet, combat, should be reserved for men. Nobody's taking my fucking little girl. I'd take a bullet for my recruiter before that happened.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right fucking now. There's no way. I wouldn't mind her joining the military. I think that'd be great.
Do you get pussy?
If they put women in combat, I don't think she's going to do it. She's kind of a girly girl, but no. Oh, no. I can stomach it for pilots. Some biological evidence that women handle G-force better than men. It's one-on-one. When the worst thing happens, you don't fucking have to pick a woman's entrails off your face. All right? I think there's just something. Okay, I can deal with helicopter pilots, fighter pilots. All right. That's it. That's a line for me. I think you're begging for trouble. Begging for trouble. I think the barracks should be separated. I think that's caused nothing but trouble when I was in the military. A unisex barracks. No, that's the way I believe, and I don't fucking hate women. That's not for them. I don't want that for my little girl. Hey, you want to be in combat? You think women should be in combat? Why not? What are you, sexist? You sexist? Of course. Oh. All right, go get me a beer, will you? Talk to you later. All right, there you go. Get out of here, Riveter. I had enough of you. Bye. Bye. For they're keeping up the money, $60. Well, thanks. I could use it. You know what? I think he rips. I think he figured out a way to rip off Google, which is actually even funnier. Guys in his 30s write sticky poops. There's something pretty funny about that. All right. I was going to read the, what you call it. All right, let's put Fearless Soldier. You're on.
Hey, Tommy, how's it going, man?
Sure. What's up? How can I help you?
So actually, so Tim's brought this up, actually, Tim Pool, about sort of piggybacking off of what the other guy said. What about service guaranteeing citizenship?
I'm for that, 100%. You risk your life, you deserve that at least.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember I was shocked to find out that one of my sergeants, who was, what do they call them, anchor babies? You know, I think he said anchor. He called himself an anchor.
Whatever.
He called himself an anchor baby, but now it's like a racist thing to say. Well, Sergeant Medina, he called himself an anchor. I think that's what he said. But I remember, and this guy, he saw combat too, and he was pretty badass. Good guy too. I was shocked to find out that he did not have his citizenship all wrapped up. Infantry as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
Absolutely, I'm for that. But that also means the standards probably got to go up. You can't just walk in.
Well, yeah, definitely. But they shouldn't be that low anyways, you know? I'm sure you saw the Army ad versus the Russian Army ad.
Yeah, but I don't believe anything the Russians do. They were supposed to kick our ass off to the 80s. They fell apart in a week. Yeah, I was never terribly impressed with the Russians. I think it's look, you gotta understand something about Russia. It's like sophisticated in Moscow, and everybody else around them are a bunch of bumpkins. All right, I'm not saying they're not tough, but it's kind of concentrated in one area in that absolutely huge country full of bumpkins. All right. You know, there's a reason they sent them out and
the
said
Russian memes.
They taught them to pick up dead soldiers' weapons to keep the fight going. By the way, that's fucking balls on levels that I can't grasp. All right, and they did it, and they beat the Germans, and that's something to commend. But I think the logistics of the Soviet Union, I really wonder how good they are now. The only thing is, whether I'm right or wrong, they got the nukes. So.
That they do.
I think the Rosensteins. Anything else?
Oh, yeah, actually, update on the whole car crash thing. I got a new car.
Yeah.
Just gotta hope not to crash it this time. It's a 2010 Jetta.
That guy just loves to tell me car crash stories. And I don't know why.
Every time.
The fucking car crash. Nico, what do you got? Let's keep it quick.
I'm from a different country.
Yeah.
And in my country, there is, mandatory service for every single man. Military.
Yeah.
For about a year. Now, the only thing negative I've heard about this is
don't matter, you guys. Can I ask you what country you're never going to go in without the blue helmet? You know, I mean, no, I shouldn't say never. Worst could happen. If you do go in without the blue helmet, you're fucked. What? What country are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm from Greece.
You're from Greece. It's mandatory. You know, I think it's just good from a discipline standpoint, a good experience. But I don't. It's like wonderful Greece, great country, great people. It's a small country in the grand scheme of things. You know, geopolitically, I suppose. I think that's the right phrase. I don't think it matters if you do or not. I think it matters if we do. Here's another thing, and I was told this by a Korean War veteran who has happened to pass. He used to work in Logan
That's a lot of money, I guess, for a person of color.
When I first moved to Wiesbaden, he told me a draft army. He was in Korea. He joined in 1946. He was in Korea and Vietnam. All right. So just after he was here for what do they call that? Rebuilding the country. I forget what the fuck it's called. Korea, Vietnam. That's the kind of veteran he was. All right. And he told me that this army is not fit to take on draftees. And he essentially said, without saying it, because you have to beat the shit out of draftees to send them to combat. You have to make them more afraid of you than the bullets they're ultimately going to be facing. That's a neat trick, and they could not do it. They were not that hard on us. I was not more afraid of my drill sergeants than dying. You got to be more afraid of your drill sergeants than dying.
There's one thing, I don't know if it's different over there than over here, but there is a sector, I don't know how to call it, I don't know how to translate it basically. There is iota. You become an iota if you're not, fit for combat.
Not one iota?
You're too fat, or you have a medical condition or anything. You're basically
they used to call it 4F during Vietnam. You're just ineligible. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I
if
give
you're
not
ineligible either through training, you're just an unruly asshole or something like that.
Yeah, I got you.
The whole thing, you just become an iota or something like that.
And
I don't know how it works exactly because I haven't gone there yet because I'm still in the educational program. If you're in an educational program, so sadly I don't know how to. I just wanted your opinion on the mandatory thing because I'm for it. It's just, most people describe it as camping most of the time.
I don't understand the question. You want me to like how to handle basic training if you have to go, or?
Yeah, basically that.
Learn to say yes. That's the one thing nobody. I got a lot of great information from a lot of different vets before I went in. The one thing none of them say is learn to say yes. And there's no such thing as I don't know, and it'll go a lot smoother. And know that no matter how squared the fuck away from her, you're gonna get yelled at. If they think you're too squared away, they're gonna make something up. You got to take it on the chin a little bit.
Understand.
I'll be honest with you. If I survive the Amory situation, it's because I fucking learned how to take an L in the military. And maybe that's why she said she was impressed. Maybe she had to take an L or two. Probably not too many.
Yeah, I think everybody on the military have to.
Running riot. I'm getting rid of you, Mike. I'm getting rid of you.
All right, see ya.
Yeah, please pull them up.
All right, yeah. Bye-bye.
I'm interested.
I had to pull you up. You fucking commie. How are you? How you doing, buddy?
What's up?
Good. How are you? What's on your mind? Let me hear what you have to say.
Not much, man. It's been kind of a roller coaster.
Right? I wish you would call in when you're saying nasty shit to me in the chat. I'd much rather argue with you.
Yeah, the chat's tough, man. It's tough to get a point across in there. And then sometimes, or most of the time, it's hard to understand the context when I'm just shit talking in chat.
You're probably playing games and shit. All right. Well, you should come in here and argue with me. And the one time you called in, we were civil. That's another thing.
Civil,
you talk so much shit, and then you get in here. How are you? And you're polite, and you let me talk, and I let you talk, and it's almost disappointing. You're not my peanut. You're my chat peanut.
The chat is really a place to spurg out and be degenerate. But I mean, I haven't been watching you since 2016 because I hate you. So I think the one thing
you've been watching me for years, dude.
the one thing.
Do you have some criticism for me on this? I would love to hear your respectful criticism, and which is kind of a letdown, to be honest with you, over this situation. What I do wrong?
Well, I mean, I had criticism for you, but I think at this point there's not much for me to criticize. I mean, you handled it perfectly. You owned up to it. I mean, all the shit that I respect you for, the reason I watch this show, even though we don't agree on politics at all.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I've watched you. I've said this before, but you always do your research. You're always right. I've watched multiple times where people tried to put fake stories on you and you sniffed it out. So that's kind of what was disappointing at first. When I first saw these tweets, it's like, God damn it, man. Like, this is exactly
I didn't do my research on this one. I literally went with my gut. And my guts, here's the thing, my guts right good amount of time.
Yeah.
I think I have some unresolved issues from the military. I thought of that. Like, I think maybe you dipped out because I was pretty much. I'll be perfectly honest with you. The first stream I did, I laughed at myself. This one's legitimate damage control because I think I know it's coming. And I just want it out there.
If I was a big YouTuber, and you see these all the time, these downfalls, I would just hire you right away and say, Tommy, what the hell should I do? Because there's not very many times where something like this happens that you don't have the right approach, and the way you handled it was the right approach. Hey, thank her for her service. I was wrong. Let's laugh at me. And when you handle it like that, they're like I can be your biggest critic. There's not really much left to criticize you about because you said, hey, my bad.
Let me make clear. I didn't do it for that reason. I know, I guess that some sociopath could have came up with that formula, although sociopaths can never say they're wrong. But I really don't want to disrespect women in the military. You know, when I said, woman, carry on, that's just a dig. That's not, I hate women. You know, I'm just being an asshole, you know? You know, like,
yeah,
I'm just being a
at all,
douchebag.
obviously, but
you know, like it's all this, you know, that's, you know, it's like I said, I don't care if it's a rando. You know, I do care if it's media that profess to care about the fucking truth. And I do care, I you know, for the fans, for people like you that know I'm not a fake. I didn't do it because I knew I'd get away with it in order to help my situation. Yeah. I did it because, like, all the bullshit I preached about the military on here, all the bullshit, like, you should never listen to me again. Ever. And the way I saw it, I do remember a situation where I talked some shit and some female walked in and owned me. And we did, it kind of happened, like, online. We just... And, like, you know, all the guys in the room went, "Oh, Callahan, you got locked," and that was the end of it. You know, that's the way I saw it, and judging by what she said, that's the way she saw it.
I mean, that's the outcome. Is now even the girl who had the beef is like, guys, come on, we're over it. Everything's good. He said some dumb shit. I said some dumb shit. We resolved it, and we're moving on, right? I mean, that's exactly how you handle a situation like that. And so I don't have much to criticize it at this point.
I don't,
but I do think people get it twisted. I love you, Tommy.
I love
you're
you
the man.
Yeah.
We don't agree.
I know you. I know you like getting white because you're good at it. I know you like. I know. Whenever they say in the newsroom that Running Wild is such an asshole, it's like, it's a little more of an act than you think.
that's what I'm going for.
And you do a great job. I'm never putting in the news team. I think I would strangle you to death. Talk to you later. You're too busy anyway. Take care, buddy. Bye. The Great Running Riot, everybody. See, he's so, like, fucking reasonable, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, he's such a nice
I told him
guy,
to kill himself in front of his family, and he's really easygoing about it.
You've told him to fucking die.
I never meant it.
You have.
I never meant
It's
it.
funny. It's fucking hilarious.
I don't know why, when I say that, I never mean it. But it relieves so much stress. I think one of the reasons I did say it to him, because I said it about some right-wing wacko that he didn't like. And I was like, die. And he thought it was the funniest fucking thing ever. So he could get some too. You know? That's one of the reasons. I did, before I did the whole night, I did cross my mind, are you pushing this a little? And I'm like, no, he laughed at some other guy dying. Fuck him. You know? Fuck him in his ear. All right. Is it Austria? My eyes are going on me. Austria, you're on the air. Odd one. Go ahead.
Yo, I don't know much about the situation, but veterans are pretty cool, and I don't understand why any woman would willingly want to sign up for a draft. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, the draft I don't like, but I think if they want to go, they should be able to go. I think they want to be, you know.
Isn't war like a terrible thing?
It fucking sucks, man. But you know what? There's girls out there that they're just as patriotic as, like, the guy, and they want to do something. You know, I did notice, like, they were the really good soldiers. They love their daddies, or the daddies were ex-military. You know, and they had, like, quality relationship with their father. And I'm gonna show daddy I got a big heart just like him. What was her name? We had a girl in basic. Her name was O'Reilly. And boy, she sucked. As far as you only have to do, like, at the time, like 10 push-ups to get through as a female in basic, right? Like, it's scaled down, all right? And she could barely get through, but she did. And then she became an officer, and she went to OCS, which was a lot harder. It's just actually a lot underrated as far as training is concerned. She did it all, man. And over in Fort fucking Benning, you got to pull up, man. She couldn't fucking move, but she loved her dad, and she was gonna prove it to him, and she did it. You know, and I'll never forget her. There's just some people that are like that. Now, I don't know if she got even close to combat or anything. She's a little injury prone. I'm sure she didn't go the full 4 years, but, you know, there's girls out there like that. And how you as a dude gonna go, you can't do that, you're a woman. Now, combat's a different thing. That's a whole nother thing that I got a problem with. All right. But it has nothing to do with their hearts. I think a line should be drawn at least on that. You know, I'm sorry. I don't know if I couldn't join the army if I saw a girl get blown up I mean, I suppose it could happen if we got mortared on post. But at least, like, we don't put kids in combat. We don't put women in combat because like, I know it's like the same thing when I see a snuff film and I get that sick fucking feeling in my stomach. That's what I think about when I think of women in combat. Like, this is wrong. You don't put women in combat. This is evil. And now we're doing it to prove some fucking point or somebody's political fucking ideals. Man, fuck that. But I will tell you this. There are women out there that got bigger hearts and more guts and more balls than some fucking guys that look on the surface or fit the mold of squared away. You know? I don't. I mean,
I understand patriotism and all that, but
and by the way, medics get killed all the time. Plenty of girls got killed in Iraq. Yeah. Go ahead.
I myself am like really wimpy and stuff, so I'd never be able to do army and whatnot. No. I understand patriotism and all that, but like, if you wanted to support the army, aren't there like other ways of doing that? Like maybe manufacturing bullets and that kind of stuff.
I mean, now I can totally side with the goal. What's more rewarding than, putting on a uniform and look? There's two different standards for men and women in the military. All right, there is a separate standard. I like to think that most of it's based on biology, but I don't know. I just couldn't tell a girl. Like I think of O'Reilly, and no one was going to tell her. And who the fuck like that was one of the best things that came out of the women's movement in the 60s. Nobody could tell you what you're destined to do. That's one of the greatest things that happened. The freedom of choice. I mean, I wouldn't be a very good libertarian. I do have my limits. The limit is combat. But no, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you want to, I don't know, go to the gym, get fucking a little tougher, get yelled at, kicked in the ass. Amory will tell you, when you fucking complete like a mission, even if it's just like something small for your NCO and they tell you fucking, oh, you can't do it, you're too fucked up, blah, 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 and you do it, I don't know if there's a bigger high on the planet. And I've done drugs. I don't know, man. How do I tell a girl not to do that? What a shitty thing to do. You can't.
Do you get
hang
pussy?
with those boys.
I slay.
I went through the experience of God. I know a female soldier, and she was fucking so cool, and we were like buddies. Like I was married and everything, so there's nothing else going on there, and she wasn't even into dudes. She was into chicks. And she made this stupid fucking arrangement with her girlfriend in AIT, right? Then this is during Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And she made a stupid arrangement that she would say that she was gay to her commander, right? When she got to where she was going. And the other girl would do the same thing. And they would both get military chaptered, right? And they could be together, okay? Here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
When she came over here, she fell in fucking love with this life, her friends. I mean, it got to the point where, like, I mean, it's funny because I was in a rear for a little bit with her, and it was kind of one of the tighter groups I was in. And, I love getting up every day and seeing everybody. I could see it with her, but I'd already been experienced a couple years. She was brand new. So guess what happened? She kind of forgot about the whole fucking thing. And the other girl did it. And now the pressure's on her to say I'm gay. And she didn't want to go. But she gave her word. And she did it. And they chaptered her. And it sucked.
Damn. Oh, this is like really complicated. I'm gonna go now. Have a good one.
All right, take care, bro. I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Peace. What's today? Tuesday? Monday? I'll see y'all tomorrow.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you bout to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she bout to catch what's your pedigree? Chi-town to King's home, slapping fives, black stones, 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated the evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headlock.
I'm sorry, Daddy.